Good afternoon and welcome to the Bellefleur Tire Shop Grand Falls Greenfoot Rapids pregame show. It's game day, which means the Rapids are back on home ice, and it's going to be a big one. The Yarmouth Mariners are rolling into town. It's an interdivisional matchup between the North and the South once again, and it's going to be a big one. We're going to talk about it, all that and more here on the pregame show, but first we're going to dive right into the stats, and this is going to be an all-important one. So the Grand Falls Rapids boasting a 6-3-1 record on the season. The Yarmouth Mariners coming off a 2-1 win against the Edmonton Blizzard. They have a 4-4-1 record on the season, second last in the East Link South Division. Grayson Party leading the way for them in goals with 5, and Nathan Plemondon-Michaud for the Rapids with 6. Jano Thambaktion leading the Mariners in assists with 5, and Zachary Michaud, the rookie, with 8. Overall, Garneau in points for the Mariners, and Zachary Michaud again 12 points as a rookie leading the team. So we're going to talk more about that in just a little bit here. But again, this is going to be another important one for this reason. So you look at your goals for, there's an 11-goal difference in their goals for. The Rapids have been firing at will lately, although you would not probably see as much as you would have liked to in the last 3 games. Now, their goals against, however, are much closer. They've got almost identical goals against. The Rapids, just 1 less goal on the season than the Mariners do. Then comes down to special teams. Power play percentage. The Rapids boasting a 20.6% on the power play, which is second in the division, 84.8 on the penalty kill. And for the Mariners, it's 15.2%, which ranks 4th in the East Link South Division, and a third place penalty kill at 77.1. Now, we mentioned that there's going to be a lot of things to talk about on the broadcast here. So, the Mariners coming off of a 2-1 win in Edmonton last night, and the Grand Falls Rapids coming off of a big loss in Miramichi last night. So, this is a little bit of a struggle. The last 3 games, the Rapids are 0-3. So, they've lost their last 3 games in a row, and now it's not the time to get concerned quite yet, but this game needs to be a mental reset, right? It needs to be one of those things where you go into this game and you're ready to get back in the win column with a fresh start. Because you can tell out there that they're not, I don't want to say that they don't look like themselves, but they look a little bit different. So we're going to start off with things. So team's still above 500, 6-3-1, not even an issue. They're third place in the division right now, and the lead is not far off. I think it's a 1 or 2 point difference between the first and second place teams with Grand Falls. So, but they were 5-0 to start the season, lost a game in overtime against Campbellton, ended up winning the next game against Summerside, and then they lost 3 in a row after that. So this is going to be a big one here. But as I was saying, they may have lost 3 in a row, but they can get back to where they were before, and I am fully confident that they will. It's just a matter of things going right. So we're going to talk a couple of things about how the last 3 games have gone and what changed, what I noticed. Now, this is just what from my perspective looking in. So, and that was one of the things that there's a couple of times when the goals were scored. I'm going to use the game in Edmonton as an example, which were just kind of bad bounces off the legs and arms of the defense, when you're a goaltender, you obviously want the defense in front of you to be just solid at all times, and they have been, but a couple of really kind of tough bounces have taken them out of it, I find. So that's a big thing, right? Is making sure that you're solid defensively, that you're coming out and you're playing an amazing game on the back end. And that's just something that they've done, but minimizing those little mistakes that are costly. So the other thing that I noticed was the first goal. So if you notice that the first 3 games, or the last 3 games, they were not the ones who got on the board first. So they were in the game against West Kent, the Steamers got in just under 5 minutes in. Same thing with the game in Edmonton, and then Miramichi last night, they scored first as well. So that's going to be a big thing as well. We talked about how those early goals in the game were the killers. And you let them score first. It not necessarily halts your momentum, but it definitely does not help getting the ball rolling, and then you're kind of forced to make a comeback. Now we have seen time and time again these Rapids come back, and more often than not, they tie the game or they end up taking the lead. The last 3 games was not the case. They were just kind of that first goal that was scored. I found they were one step behind, and no matter what they did to come back, they were able to tie it. But it's those late goals and those little bounces or deflections that just kind of cost them the game. So playing a little bit tighter defensively, catching that crucial first goal. They obviously want to be first in the race to score first, as you obviously do. This game's not just going to be about blocks and hits. It's defensive zone exits. It's getting the pucks out clearly. It's, making sure that you're not turning the puck over at the red line or at the blue line or wherever you are and giving them a high danger scoring chance like there was in the game against West Kent. So it's not just on the defense, it's on the offense too, because you want to make sure that you're stopping those pucks from getting even into the neutral zone, that you're hemming the opponents into their own end as much as possible. And I think that they can do that here tonight. They just have to really zone in, if you will, and find that strength to get on the board first and to then get the ball rolling from there. The second issue, and we've been talking about this all season, basically since the first 4 games of the season, is the power play. They have struggled big time on the power play, and it's not even close. I was taking a look at the stats last night, and they're 2 for 5. They went 2 for 5 on the power play last night, but overall this season are 7 for 34. So think about that for a minute. 2 of their power play goals were last night. They're 7 for 34. That may not seem like a lot, but trust me, it is. This is not good. And they got to be a little bit better on the power play. The problem is, I find that they're missing a power play quarterback. So they can score on the power play, and they've proven that, but they need somebody who's going to be able to drive the plays and to make sure that they get those high-danger scoring chances. But that's one thing that we're not seeing is just the shots on net. They do a lot of passing, and there's a lot of great plays to be made. Like, you can see that they're trying to set it up, but there just aren't enough shots. And more often than not, it results in a good penalty kill for the other team. Either that or they're getting those shots that are not that quality. And they are just allowing the other team to take it back the other way and get a high danger scoring chance shorthanded. So that's something that needs to change as well. Now, tonight, you're going to need somebody to play the power play quarterback, to be that strong kind of driving force on the power play, especially because Yarmouth has not had a good penalty kill, really. 77.1%. I mean, they're in the bottom half of the league in terms of their penalty kill percentage. Their power play is even worse. So special teams, they have not been good at all. And, you want to take advantage of that. So with that said, you got to get somebody who's going to step up and be that power play QB this game and who's going to kind of drive them to it. So because if you get those opportunities where you're on the man advantage, you don't really have a lot that you can do right now because of, not to say the lack of creativity, but just the lack of getting those deadly shots on net for the power play. And again, it's not an easy fix, but I feel like it can be done. So that's something that they need. They're missing that power play quarterback that's going to be able to drive those plays and get things started. So they can do that. Now, with that said, Yarmouth is a team they've struggled a little bit this season. Now, they're 4-4-1, like I mentioned, on the season, which puts them 4th place in the East Link South Division. 9 points. They're only ahead of the Amherst Ramblers and Valley Wildcats. Well, the Valley Wildcats, 4 points. The Amherst Ramblers, 8 points. They're 1 point ahead of the Ramblers. So this is where the big task is going to lie, because you're on a 3-game skid. It's not obviously easy to overcome that, but you're playing a team like Yarmouth who is easily beatable when you are in your zone and when you're playing your game. So, like I mentioned, they're coming off that 2-1 win. It's those close defensive battles. They got to stay disciplined. That's the other thing. So, yes, the Rapids penalty kill is fantastic, and it's second place in the division and in the top half of the league in terms of penalty kill percentage, right? But see, you got to stay out of the box and make sure that they aren't getting on the man advantage because, again, like I mentioned, it's going to be a big one. So this is going to be to say the very least, it's going to need to be a sort of a reset for the Rapids. I mean, it's the last 3 games. Forget about everything that happened over those last 3 games. This is a new one. You've got 2 games on home ice, one today and one Friday. And then you're in Chaleur on October 24th, which, by the way, there is still the bus trip that's going to be planned. So if you do want to go and get your tickets there, it's going to be $70 for your bus fare plus the ticket to the game. It's going to be fun. I know I myself am going to go. It's going to be really, really, really fun. I'm looking forward to it, and I think you should too. So, side note for that, you've got 2 games at home. 3 games at home on the so today and next Friday against Edmundston and the next Sunday against Pictou. So this is an opportunity to get back into the win column, number 1, but also to get back to the way that they were playing earlier in the season, right? You saw a little bit of a slump, but they can get themselves out of it. And I am fully confident 100% that they can do it. It's just a matter of how do you get this rolling. So with that said, bottom line for the Rapids, it's not just about 2 points. It's a mental reset, just reestablishing those fundamentals that made them such a deadly team, that, that defensive structure that teams hate playing against. That's going to be a big task here for them this afternoon. So play some tight defense. Make sure that you're limiting your turnovers. Stay disciplined, and make sure that you are scoring that first goal. It will work wonders in the end. So with that being said, this is going to be a game to watch. I'm going to have the call with you on Flow Sports. We're going to be here for the Bellefleur Tire Shop Grand Falls Rapids post-game show after the game is done. There's going to be lots to talk about there, I'm sure, and we'll give you a little bit of a preview into next Friday's game against Edmundston as well. Season series in that, sitting at 1 apiece. The first win came with the Grand Falls Rapids winning at home, and then, of course, that loss on Thursday night in Edmundston. But for now, the Mariners and the Rapids play for the very first time this season, and I believe it's the only time this season at home. But this is going to be a big one. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell notification for all future content. Stay tuned to the channel. We are going to have a lot to talk about in the post-game show right here on the Rapids Rap YouTube channel.